Hello and welcome once again to another Heart to Heart talk with me. I'm John Kuert, interim pastor at Alpha Assembly in Clarion, Pennsylvania. And thanks for joining me. And I hope and pray that today's message will speak to all of us and bring something to the forefront that is very, very important for us if we are going to be effective as Christians and complete the job that Jesus started and wanted us to continue. So it's so important for us to be connected to other Christians and develop relationships that will help us grow and develop in our spiritual life. That's what church is all about, really, and small groups and things like that. But equally important is the truth that comes from this scripture today that I want to look at with you from 2 Corinthians chapter 6 about being careful to have fellowship with ungodly people. It says there, do not be yoked together with unbelievers, for what does righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Belial? What does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? Therefore, come out from them and be separate. Now, I can remember growing up hearing that verse many, many times. Come ye out from among them. But does that mean that we are to become isolationists and remove ourselves completely from any contact with those who are unbelievers? Well, I don't think so. In the first place, I think that's somewhat impossible unless you go live like a hermit in some cave in the wilderness. But also to take an extreme position about what it says here and isolate ourselves from the world so that we can be holy is contrary to what Jesus taught. In John 17, Jesus taught that we are to be in the world, but not of the world. And this is a more balanced position where we understand that we are to maintain our distinctiveness as his disciples while being in the world as his witnesses. Let me say that again. We are to maintain our distinctiveness as his disciples while being in the world as his witnesses. Unfortunately, our imbalanced emphasis against worldliness has produced a mentality that has caused us to withdraw from the world for fear of contamination by it. And consequently, we have developed a kind of Christian subculture characterized by isolationism. And this protective mentality has removed us from non-believers and has forced us into trying to make a difference from a distance. Well, in order to make a spiritual impact, the first step is to infiltrate. We must be out there where the people are. You know, Jesus taught us that we are to be light in the world. But what good is light if it only shines where there are other lights? Now, this past week, when we were involved with the Autumn Leaf Festival, passing out tote bags. By the way, we passed out 1,500 by 11:30 in the morning. And being in the parade the next day with a sign on there, a beautiful truck and a sign that says Alpha Assembly. It's being out there. And I enjoyed the part about throwing candy out, but at any rate, we have to be out there where the people are. Jesus taught us that we are the light of the world. But what good is light if it only shines where there are other lights? It's time for Christians to come out of hiding and become more and more visible. The world at its darkest, I always say this, needs the church at its brightest. And of course, we must be careful not to compromise as we venture into the world, but we must not be aloof and stay away from the world. And so at Alpha Assembly, we're trying to do that. We're trying to reach out. At Christmas time, we're going to be having a Christmas vocal competition. And we're opening it up to every young person. There's two categories, elementary and then teenage. And we're offering a $500 prize for the first place singer, and we're opening it up to everyone in the county, and spread the word, because it's not just for the people of our church, and we want to bring people in, make them aware of our church, reach out, and it's a nice way to celebrate Christmas as well. That's a long way off yet, but we have to do the work now if it's going to be a success. So anyway, that's what we're trying to do, and I hope that you're doing it individually, reaching out and letting your light shine in this dark world. Well, thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you'll join me some Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m., at our worship service. We would love to have you. Check out our website, alphaag.org, or our Facebook page. We would be glad to get to know you and meet you, and be hopefully a blessing to you. Well, have a great day, have a great weekend, and God bless. We'll see you. Bye-bye.